We're a week from release of the Epstein files, and a group of survivors working with the Senate Judiciary, Democrats, wrote a letter saying, hey, we want an independent review. We're worried that documents may have been tampered with, the chain of custody. Look, I feel for the survivors. They deserve the clarity. There's no way this was about one man and one woman and nobody else knew anything. But we all know the answer to this. Let's bring in former FBI Special Agent and CIA Officer Tracy Walder, because I had her on the show to give you the answer to this. You told me on this show, my friend, you've never heard of this big of a redacting operation going on. That's the answer to the question. They are absolutely going to have reason to say, wait a minute, where are these documents and how come I can't read this? I mean, is there any chance that this is satisfying?
In my opinion, Chris, no. And I agree with you. This is, in my opinion, all about the victims and what I believe that they deserve, which is clarity, just like you mentioned. And yes, I do believe that redactions are important for ongoing investigations, protecting the names of minors, those kinds of things. But we've talked before, these redactions were completed in March. So why don't we know about them now? Why have they been held onto for so long? And I think that plants these seeds of doubts, and rightly so, in the victims and in everyone else's mind.
What ongoing investigations, though, Tracy? They're not going after anybody else.
You know, I don't know. I don't believe that they are going after anyone else, but I don't know if there's other financial crimes that they're looking at and those kinds of things, because things like that can come from these investigations. I doubt that they will, but again, I'm not certain in this case.
Where's your head on this? So Thomas Massie says that he was given a list, Representative Thomas Massie, for you guys at home. Tracy knows everything. He was given a list of 20 alleged co-conspirators, let's call them. These are men and or women who knew. Not that they did things, but they knew things about what was being done to people. There is, in my opinion, zero chance that that list comes out, because if it is anywhere, it's in the depositions that were sealed by federal judges in the civil cases, which is not part of the Epstein files, and people keep not being told that. If it doesn't come out in the release, which again, I don't think it can, do you think Massie has a legal duty to release them himself?
That is such a hard question to answer, Chris, because you're right. They are sealed from those civil cases. I personally, not as an FBI agent, I personally believe that he does have a duty to release those, because those are individuals that could have been involved in child trafficking, in pedophilia, those kinds of things. And I do think it's in the public's best interest to know that information. But from a legal standpoint, I'm just not sure if he can.
I think that legally he's going to have a problem, but morally he should be willing to pay that price. They're always talking about what hill to die on. If not this one, which he should have never said he had the information if he didn't want to make it public. Tracy, you're the best. Thank you for just making it plain to everybody so they know where we're headed. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.